What'd you think about the episode?
Today's episode, I give it a 6 out of 10. To me, it's a solid episode. Uh, Feeling good about the episode. It's great story, great production values. It's great setup for events coming up in the next couple episodes. So that's good. And that's bad. It's good because it's good setup, but it's bad because it feels like not a filler episode, but like, does it need to be an episode?
Not much
Um,
happens.
yeah, I felt like the force sensitive lady was unnecessary on Yavin 4. Um, I didn't really understand why Dedra was singled out for assassination. Yeah, she's bad, but she's in the Empire who ain't bad. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
There's good character development, but I really do feel like this was set up for the next episode, next two episodes, because this is the first in the set of three. So for me, overall, solid, but 6 out of 10. What do you think?
I gave this episode a 4 out of 10. It was a bit worse for me. So the pros is that the ISB's long-term strategy is coming together, but also at the same time, I feel that Cyril is about to be betrayed. Like it's set up. Like the conflict is right there. More pros is that there's a cool vibe shift in Gorman. So there was a approximately year, half year, something gap in between episode 5 and episode 6 and now episode 7, and so the Empire has tightened their control and there's a little bit more dystopian. There's a little bit more of the Empire is clamping down, but not in a good way. How do I say this? And so that's that changed. There was more barricades. The place wasn't so clean, a little bit dirty, and there was not as many people walking around, which really was a good feeling, like very good setting for this is where the Empire wanted this to go, to have all this civil unrest. Society is not as prosperous and happy as it was before. That's so cool. So very, very cool set design. I liked it a lot. Also good to see that Wilman continued in his commitment and he is thriving well in the rebellion. In the previous episode 6, we ended with Wilman taking off his mask and he's like coughing, gassing, but I guess that is part of joining the Rebel cause. So now he's in, and he wasn't just sitting around doing nothing. He's active. He's chasing down what his convictions are. So very good pros are there. The cons of the episode, and the cons were pretty rough, was that Mystic Lady. That felt very bad for me, very bad in terms of like storytelling. I guess it is plausible within this universe because there are force sensitive people. However, if it wasn't in the Star Wars universe, I would have been like, this is just lazy writing, because she explains what Cassian's internal feelings are, what his internal motivations, like what his hopes and dreams and what his purpose is. Like, how do you have that knowledge? Like in another show, this would have been an oracle. This would have been someone that, like, I can see what your future has. I can see even what you don't know about yourself. And I was like, what is this? This is weird. This is it's people telling me what Cassian thinks instead of just Cassian either just doing it or Cassian like exposing his or discussing his thoughts and feelings to Bix. Like that would have been a natural conversation as well. But that isn't a natural conversation between them. Then you have this third character come in and explain it, and that was weird to me. That being said, it is Star Wars, so there are force sensitive people floating around the universe. So maybe. Another con, the last con that I have, is that something happened in the gap between episode 6 and episode 7. So in episode 6, we left off with Cassian and Bix. They killed Dr. Gorse. Bix has her emotional recovery. She's ready to fight again. She's back in the game. But then in episode 7, after this year-ish gap, they're both living a slow-paced life. Like what happened to that fire? What happened to, like, we're going to get out there and go fight, and then they're both slow-paced again? But without explanation, Bix's recovery I feel cheated. I feel cheated that Bix did this big F you, Dr. Gorse, I'm going to defeat you and I'm out of my PTSD. But then that fire doesn't go anywhere. So it felt weird. But maybe there's a bigger plan for this, so I'll just hang tight, see what happens in Andor. So overall, kudos for playing with the format of the TV series. So instead of having 12 episodes, it's 4 mini movies. And so there's going to be some growing pains because the story has some gap years in between. And so maybe this is just kind of the consequences of having that structure. But still, I approve of trying it. Otherwise, we only get the same old episodic series. We get the same old movies. And so this is like that in between. Very cool feeling. Those are my thoughts. 4 out of 10. Oh, 4 out of 10.